Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we're about ready to start. Those that are helping, as pallbearers are going to come up. Rafi, you guys, Rafi. Hey, Herschel, come. So walk along to help us. We are going to walk from here to Label's final resting place. It's a short distance, but we're still going to stop 7 times. We're reciting a chapter of Tehillim, a chapter of Psalms, Yoshev B'Seiser, and we're going to stop by a specific word in the final pasuk, in the final passage. After that, we are going to recite one more chapter of Psalms, of Tehillim. We're going to lower Label down, and then we're going to share a few words. I'll share a few words. We'll hear some words from family members. We're all going to have the opportunity. We're going to close with the Kel Malei Rachamim, and we're going to all have the opportunity to participate in a Chesed Shel Emes, in a kindness that cannot be repaid, but it's of its greatest honor, and that is to help fill the kever, his resting place. All those that are physically able to do that, to participate, it's a special moment. As we walk, you'll follow the children will follow, others will follow, and those that would like to sit down, others will stand around for the funeral service. If the nephews, the Zachal says, could please join Rafi, Eli, Yoshi. Chapter 91. Chapter 91. Adam, could you help me? Adam, come. John, also. The 2 of you can come. Advisor will join us as well. Let's just take a few steps and then we'll stop again. Ki malacha. A little more. A little further. Yeah, you should say something. Ki malacha v'yitzav elach. Yeah, you should say something. Ki malachav yitzav alach l'shmarcha.
Okay, and then the cemetery workers will guide us right on in, keep the casket level. Right on the roll. Very nice. Thank you, Colbert. Thank you so much.
No, we're going to say, if everybody can please join us at the seats or standing around, we're going to recite. We're going to recite 2 chapters of Tehillim, chapter 23 and chapter 16. Chapter 23, Mizmor LeDavid. Adonai roi lo yachzar b'noi stesha yarbitzeini al mei menuchai sinahaleni nafshi yeshevev yancheni b'maglei tzedek leman shemoi gam kielech b'geit zalmoves lo'idora ki ata imadi shiftecho mishantecho hema yenachamuni tarech lefonai shulchan neged tzoroi dishanta v'shem en roishi koisi revaya ach toiv v'chesed yurdefuni kol yemei chayoi v'shafti b'veis Adonai li'orech yamim. A psalm by David, the Lord is my shepherd, I shall lack nothing. He makes me lie down in green pastures, He leads me beside still waters. He revives my soul, He directs me in the paths of righteousness for the sake of His name. Even if I walk in the valley of the shadow of death, I fear no evil, for You are with me. Your rod and Your staff, they will comfort me. You will prepare a table before my enemies. You have anointed my head with oil, my cup is full. Only goodness and kindness shall follow me all the days of my life, and I shall dwell in the house of the Lord for many long years. Chapter 16, Michtam LeDavid Shamreni El Ki Chasisi Vach Amart Ladinoi Adinoi Ata Tevasi Bal Alecha Liktoish Masher Baretz Heima Vadire Kol Chefze Bam Yirbu Atzvoisam Acher Maharu Balasik Niskeya Midam Ubalasa Shmoisam Al Sfasai Adonai Minas Chalki V'Koisi Vata Temech Gairali Chavalim Nafuli V'Nimim Afnachla Shafra Aloi Havarech es Adonai asher ya'atzani hafleilos yisuni kol yoisai Shivisi Adonai lenegdi samit ki mimini ba'lemoit Lochein samach libi v'yogel kevoidi Haf besari yishkoin lavetach Ki loisazev nafshi lisha loisiten chasidcha l'roi shachas Toidieni oirechayim soy v'smachis es panecha ne'imois yimincha netzach. At this point, we're going to lower down. Hold on. You may be seated.
Sí.
Before we hear some words from the family, I want to take this opportunity to share an idea about label that connects to this week's Parsha, this week's Torah portion, and reflect a little bit on the giant of a man, the Zaken Shebachavura, the elder statesman of our community, Rabbi Yehuda Leib ben Yerucham Fischel, label Avrutick. Our community, the Washington community, had the good fortune of having the Avruticks part of it before many of us, or many of our communities, even existed. For nearly 18 years, our community, the Chabad of Silver Spring community, our family and other families counted label as their resident Zaidi. Their resident, he was available. He greeted the kids, he greeted the kids' parents, he was there for so many. He added a flavor where he would share about things from the way it was compared to the way it is. In this week's Parsha, we read about an end of an era. We read about Moshe Rabbeinu conveying to the Jewish people that I am not going to continue from this point forward. Moshe Rabbeinu says, I took you to this point. You are going to continue. You are going to go into Eretz Yisrael, into the land of Israel. But it won't be me who goes along with you. In the Torah portion, he says it's going to be Yehoshua. But the idea is that for all of those years, they had Moshe, for all of those years, they had that figure leading them so close to the promised land. And Moshe in the Torah is confident that from this point forward, with the right leadership, with the right structure, you will be not only okay going into the land of Israel, but you're going to grow into the nation that we have become. I'm sure we'll hear about this soon, but Label was the quintessential patriarch of a family. He cared about the big things, he cared about the little things, he cared about those that lived very close, and he mingled in people's business that lived very far. In a good way. He was a real Zayda. If he liked what you were doing, he told you. If he wasn't sure that he liked what you were doing, he told you. But everything in such a loving, caring way. I'm reminded how he went to great lengths to make sure all his Einaklach, all his grandchildren had a Jewish education. It wasn't easy, it wasn't cheap, but it was important. And that act of Yiddish pride, of Jewish pride, was something that him and his wife Lillian, Label and Leah, sought to make sure that their children and their grandchildren should have that type of experience. He showed interest in the worldly things they were involved with. He was so proud of the Jewish things they were involved with. But it extended beyond the family. Label was interested in everything that was going on in our community, in our family. Also, he told you the things he loved, he told you the things he didn't love, because he cared. He cared to make sure that the world that he is leaving for us should be stronger, should be better. Already for a little while, Label would say, I'm getting older, or I'm not, a lot of my friends are not around. But he did not put himself in a place where he disconnected from everybody. He moved the last couple of months to, or nearly almost a year, to the Ring House. He made a new circle of friends, a new group of people at the Minyan there. A lot of people at his age or after everything in their life could say, you know what? I'm going to go into my little safe cocoon. But that wasn't Label. You met him in the lobby of the Ring House, he was schmoozing with somebody. It couldn't have been a long-time friend, he just met the person. That idea of living life to its fullest, that idea of sharing with those younger than him what's important, what was and what can be done, is something that we are all better because of Label. The idea of caring about another family member, caring about another community member, caring about another person is something that personally helped me in my development as a rabbi, as living in the community. And I am forever grateful for considering Label not simply a congregant or a community member, but a dear friend and a shtickle mishpacha, a little bit like our family. In the last few years, my mother received numerous cards during her illness from Label Avrutick to check up how she's doing. He's a big card guy. He sent the cards, and he would ask, "How's your mother doing?" And he would send a card to wish her a good Yom Tif, to check up on her. And when he met my parents when we were local, it was everybody's Yom Tif was nicer. I started referencing this week's Torah portion. It's very important that all of us gathering here today appreciate that he gave a lot. He helped, he cared, he taught what it means to live. He wants us to continue that idea. That idea doesn't end with the patriarch of the Avrutick family passing on. That idea now has the ability to branch out with all of us. On Rosh Hashanah in Shul, the second day in the morning, I noticed an envelope sticking out of the mailbox. I didn't make much of it. Went across the street, and first Yoshi came over to me to share with me the sad news, and then I had the opportunity to speak to Penny. They shared with me that the night before, Label returned his neshama on high. When I went back home, I had the opportunity to open the Rosh Hashanah card that Label sent our family. A day or two before his passing, Label sends a Lashana Taiva card to us, to Chaya, to myself, and family. And in his final message to us, to our family, I think there's something we can extrapolate for all of us. Dear Rabbi and family, What does he want to use this moment? He wants to use this moment to say thank you. Thank you for all you've done, for all your help with Miriam's needs. Lots of mazel. There's a quality called hakaras hatoiv, where you show gratitude when somebody does something for you. It wasn't even such a big thing that we were able to help Miriam with. But to him, as Miriam's Zayda, as Miriam's grandfather, he wanted us to know that it was very important to him. I have to remind you, this is not a week old, this card. Hope you have a wonderful holiday and a healthy one. Best regards, and I don't think he usually did this, he signs in Hebrew, label Avrutick. Wishing you and those dear to you a year of peace, health, and happiness. L'shana tova tikasev. Label, we got the card. We got the card. We appreciate that you sent the card, and you taught us a lesson in sending this card. Label didn't know when his last day was going to be. None of us know. But we should live and value every moment as being one that should be filled with good, with caring, and with extending ourselves to others. I ask Mechila if ever a time I didn't show the proper respect to our elder statesmen. And on behalf of everybody in our community, in our shul, I say thank you for being that amazing example of what it means to be a Zayda. Rafi, Miriam, David, Danny.
I'd like to say just a few things. My father, he was great. He was a really great man, and he was very generous. He gave a lot, and he gave without any credit, without seeking any credit. And if anything needed to be done, my father did it right away. I was always afraid to ask him. I was afraid to say yes, if he should buy this ticket or this, that, because I knew that if I said yes, it would be done in 10 minutes. He did things right away, and he was very positive. A few years ago, I was staying at the house. He had an accident. He broke one of these glass coffee cups. He dropped his glass coffee pot and it broke. And I would have cursed myself and beat myself for being so stupid as to drop and break it. And my father immediately went out and bought 2 more coffee machines. He brought them back to the house. He was 10 minutes late. He was testing each one to see which was better, reading the instructions, chose the one he wanted, and brought the other one back to the store immediately without any self-incrimination, and that's, I'll always remember that, because I would be just the opposite. Just one last thing for the family. My father was a man he rarely showed his emotion. He was not into emotions. He was not that comfortable with crying and emotions. And there was only one time that I remember him crying, speaking to me, when he told me about how when his own father died, his siblings, he had 3 or 4 siblings, were arguing over the possessions of his parents, after the funeral. And that was the only time he ever cried and showed emotion, to me. And that's something to remember now, because we're all going to be dealing with the same thing. And okay, thank you all for coming. Thank you all for coming.
Penny.
So people say, of course my father lived a very long life, and he was clear until the last day. He had his mind was good, his heart was slowing down, but he was, as we know, he was very together. And people say, he lived a long, healthy life, and it's beautiful. But for me, I became so much even closer to him as he got old, and we just grew through different stages of life together, and we were always together to the point that people called me his sister or his wife, and I don't know if that was to his credit that he looked good, or I would think. But besides that, he told me always move forward, never look backwards. And even when we sold the Kent Mill house this year, and they fixed it up beautifully, and I couldn't wait to go to the open house and see it. He told me, just go and don't tell anyone you live there, because you don't want to go backwards, you want to move forward. So I had to go in the house pretending like I didn't live there, but that was his philosophy. We don't talk about anything, we just move forward. So that's one great thing that I can share. I mean, there's many more things, but that's what I want to talk about here. Thank you. All right.
Rafi?
So, just want to say two things about my grandfather. On a personal level, you know, I had a very unique relationship with him, and just in terms of grandparent-grandchild relationship, he was really like a father to me in terms of his age. You know, I remember when I was young, he was still working. You know, he wasn't retired yet, and you know, so every day going to work, and at that time we were also living with him for a period of time in the house, and even after that, staying many times. And it's just, you know, going, you know, I finished school for the summer, and he'd come and pick me up on the last day, and we'd drive up to Montreal, and you know, to Vermont for a month, and visit the cousins there, and you know, or when there's a wedding in New York, or a bar mitzvah in Detroit, or you know, he would take, you know, even if the whole family didn't go, he would come and take me, and I just think how much of my childhood was, you know, with him as a fatherly figure. And you know, even when I was in school and I would lifeguard during college, and he'd come and pick me up 10:30, 11 o'clock at night when the hotel pool closed. You know, it's like, here I am working for minimum wage, but he just, to make it that much easier, he'd come and chauffeur me, take me all the way back to campus, drive all the way home. Like he could have just and he's retired then. So just that level of sacrifice and fatherly relationship is just something that I think is very special. And that means a lot. And the second thing that I think is important about him is, you know, he really was, of course, as everybody knows, the patriarch of this family, of the extended family also. Was the last one from his generation, the last of the siblings, the last of that whole age. And, you know, just the people who are here, and it's just incredible how he was the connection to everybody. I mean, whether it's a cousin in one place, or of course the Chabad all over the world, who he would go plan his vacations around what Chabad not where do I want to go, and is there a Chabad, where's there a Chabad, and okay, let's go to Sydney, okay, let's go to, you know, whatever. And you know, when I think about it, and I've been thinking about it for many years, what's going to happen, you know, to the family when we lose that glue that's keeping everybody, you know, that's the common thread, you know, between everybody. And we don't have a new patriarch in the family, and I don't. Yes.
I want to go sit.
You want to go sit? Okay. We don't have a new patriarch, and I don't know what the solution is, but I hope that in his memory and honor we can at least keep that together. So many friends and family, so many different paths in life, and you know, in his memory, maybe we can keep that connection, and you know, and to what Danny said, and try to keep everything warm. Yeah, sometimes he liked to sweep things under the rug so that it would seem okay even if it wasn't. But you know, there's a lot of good in that as well. And I think all the people here today, like even in sending an email about the funeral and the news, I don't even have everybody's email address. I had to copy paste from when my grandmother passed away in 2014 or whatever, just to know who are the different threads from the different corners to come together. So that's going to be missed. I don't know what the solution is, but hopefully we can all come together and stay together in his memory, and that's for sure what he would want. Thank you.
I just want to say that my father wasn't around much when I was a kid, and that's because he was working. He had a 5 and 10 cent store that was open 6 days a week, and
Sunday he was there working.
excuse me, and he was, you know, he was busy at the store. And then when I was a teenager or 12, he started working for Harper and Row, and he was a traveling salesman. So he was going up and down the East Coast, and he was gone often for 2 weeks at a time. But fortunately, and he did all that to take care of all of us, but as I got older, I just had the gift of having a lot of time with my father. And I feel like I had certainly the last 7 years of coming down to Maryland and helping him and staying in the house and being able to stay for 3-4 weeks at a time. So I had this just amazing chance to get to know my father in a very different stage of life, but actually have a lot of time with him. And I spoke to my father on Erev Rosh Hashanah during the day, and I shared with him some hard stuff going on in my life, and he just reassured me, you know, and I just felt like he has taken care, you know, his mind was good, and he was looking forward to Josh and Penny and Terry coming for Rosh Hashanah the next day, and he just spent that time reassuring me, and he just wanted to take care of me and take care of his family till he left us. And I'm just very grateful that he passed over very peacefully in his own home, which is exactly what he wanted. So, thank you.
Okay, I'll make it very short. I don't think I can. I just feel very lucky that my mom and everyone said that maybe he didn't have so much time with them, but we really got to reap the benefits as the grandchildren. I don't think it's possible to have a better relationship with your grandfather than the relationship I had with him. He was the first person I called when I had good news. He was really like a friend and a mentor to me. And I'm really gonna miss him. I'm sad he's not gonna be able to see me get married. But I know he felt like he was ready to go, and he knew I'm in good hands, and you know, we're really gonna miss him, and I love him.
Yeah, Eli?
Yeah, what my sister said and the rabbi said and everyone else would be exactly what I would say. So I guess we all know that you learn more things from people's actions than you do what they tell you to do. So like Miriam said, I spent like some weeks 3 times golfing, fishing, walking the shul, and he would always tell me things about life, and they were all very wise, but I learned some things that maybe people don't know about him just from observing him. The first was his imagination and sense for adventure. When I was young, he had this story called Indian Joe, and he would tell me in the woods behind his house lived a Native American with 2 horses, thunder and lightning, and every time we'd go into the woods there was going to be a bear to eat us, but Indian Joe saved the day. And I never saw this Indian Joe, and I always believed him hook, line, and sinker. He was such a great storyteller until I was like 10 years old. It's embarrassing. I'm so gullible. And after a football game one time, and he kept repeating it, or after golf, I don't remember, he looked at me once, he said, "Eli, sometimes I just imagine myself being a pilot and flying in the air, and I do it all the time. And I spend all this time doing that." They tell me every night. And that sense of imagination and adventure and that curiosity, he was such a responsible figure, and that was something I got to see. The second thing, real quick, is when I would golf with him and I would go to football games, sometimes we'd randomly stop and he would say, "Oh, I have to see my bookie." And his bookie would be named Romeo, and I'd randomly get to encounter this new character. And this is maybe something he was comfortable enough like hanging out with me doing, or the jokes we make golfing and the money he would bet and don't tell your grandma. But that was something I learned from his actions, and I think it helped me a lot meeting new people, or meeting investors, or trying to get people to work for me even though they probably shouldn't, or whatever it is. So that's something I learned from him. And then third, to touch on what the rabbi said, is I remember one day, believe it or not, I got in trouble at school, and we were driving in the car, and I told him, I said, it's like stupid, my dad's wasting so much money sending us to this private school. And he said, who do you think's paying for like everything? And he paid for all our education without ever taking the credit, and that was the type of guy he was.
So, what my grandfather, my Saba, taught us is that, like, what makes you in life, it's not just being a good person. It's not just trying to blend in, being like everybody else. He sent us all to Jewish day school. He took us to tons of Shabbats and Chabad and Hartzion and everything like that. That in Judaism, it's not just another religion. It's not just another culture like Islam or Christianity or all the other religions or culture in the world. It puts a sense on an initiative in life. It's that eyes are on you. You can't just be, hey, I'm Sam, the good guy. I'm Mark, I'm Stephen. Orthodox families name their kids Mendel or Rivka or Shani. They say, you're a special child, you're a special person, we're putting you out in the world. Wear your kippah. People are looking at you. Some people are going to like you, some people are not. You have to take an initiative and go out. So that's what I remember my Saba for. Thank you.
I'm David Avrutick, and Lou is my great uncle. And I'm going to take a little exception to what the rabbi said of Lou being everyone's Zeta. To all of us in my family, he was Uncle Lou. He was my father's uncle, but he was always my Uncle Lou. And I think everyone else in my family feels the same way. And in spending time with him, whether it was in the typhoon shelter in Hong Kong with the Little Sisters, whether it was on a fishing trip in the wilds of Canada, Lou was always there as an uncle, that he was that caring person. Family meant everything to him, and he passed that on to us. And to have been able to spend time with him, whether it was him opening his house so that we could stay there, so I could stay there when I was looking for a job in college, or when we were visiting for my son, looking at college to spend time with him. He was always Uncle Lou. And to me, that is even more personal. And I think my sister's family and everyone else would feel the same way. So we'll miss Uncle Lou.
Okay. I want to thank everyone who's watching and everyone who's here. I have three things to say. Saba, Louis Jude Avrutick, was a father-in-law like no other. He was a great father. I remember when he welcomed me into the house and to Shabbat dinner first, and he was wonderful. And to support what the rabbi said, I had dinner with him once at the Ring House, and the rule is if Saba invites you to dinner, just say yes. So we're sitting at a table, and there's another man there who's just virtually lost his wife. His wife is very ill and he can't live with her anymore. He has to go to the Ring House, and his wife is being taken care of by their daughter, but they can't take care of both of them, and this man's distraught. He's just come to the Ring House, he's lost. And who befriends him but Saba, but Label? And that's the kind of man that he was and is. And the third thing I just want to relate is that we were invited to Rosh Hashanah dinner with him, so of course we said yes. But he wasn't at the table. So I went up to get him, and I found him, and I want everyone to know he had a look of peace on his face. He'd fallen asleep in his favorite napping chair, and it was his time. And I got a big sense of peace. Thank you. Mayor. Mayor. Herschel, Mayor, anyone? Pessimist? Miriam? We're going to recite the Kel Malei Rachamim, and then we'll all participate in the honor of the Chesed Shalemes and filling the kever, filling the grave. El Malei Rachamim shoichein meroimi Hamtzei menucha nechoin al kanfei hashchina b'maloi saktoishim utohoirim kizoyar arakiya mazirin es nishmas Yehudalei ben Yerucham Fishul Shalach Loi Lamoy Bavur Shenad Vutstaka Badaskaras Nishmasai Began Eden Tehei Menuchasai Lachein Balarachmim Yastireu B'Seiser Knafav Loi Lamim V'yitzer B'Tzor Achayim Es Nishmasai Adonai Yunachalasai V'yanuach al mishkavai v'shalayim v'noimar amen. Last, you could form two lines on that side and on this side. When we start, we take the shovel. We take the shovel and we use the back of the shovel to begin, showing the lack of enthusiasm in this act. But then we get practical. Okay, so if you could line up, everybody can come. Also, when you're done, stick the shovel in the pile, and the next person will come.
I want you to know that.
This is if somebody wants to take a little bit.
Let me do a little bit, then you can share.
Every day. What we'll do is that side will be the one or two scoops. This side will be some guys doing the heavy lifting. Okay? Yeah. Well, just practical, not for us to study.
How are you going to get that? Same way you got here? I think it's both 40 minutes in different directions. Oh, there she is. There she is. Okay. Yeah. A little bit.
Some people want it, but better just like you don't carry anything.
Love you, be careful, okay? Not too close. Levy, not so close.
We we'll go down until we get to the together and then where's Joan? Where is she? Now is the coach there on your right.
Levy, you're too close.
It's yours on your spot. His spot. His spot is good. His father's not his mother's. Yeah. You got a good golfing. Good golfing. You got, yeah. So, I heard this teacher. I've never started taking my kids on trips. It's not English. Like that. It's like I know it's and his birdie, that's pretty good. I got to better start quickly. Yeah. Not gonna be enough time to get all this guys. You gotta go to JLI. Miriam, we have to make a book of all the trips. What's the trip sound like? Okay, we are going to recite. Okay, continue doing that. Continue. The more we cover, the better. We are going to recite the Kaddish I'm gonna ask Danny to come up here. And you can stand beside Danny. Okay. So there's like a few lines here that I okay. Just do it slowly and loud. I'll tell you. Wait a second. Let me just see how the cover, what the cover is. Sorry. We're gonna. Judy, you want to send? Judy, you want to send it? No.
David is right here.
Oh, that's right. It's going this way.
Yeah, going this way. Would you say Oysa Hashalom? Yeah, the Virtual. Would you say Oysa Hashalom? In Madrak, it doesn't have.
In benching, you don't say.
Good question. No, it doesn't say. It doesn't.
Somebody doesn't know. How would I know?
Yes. This is fortunate. This is not a common. Okay. Well, hold on. Okay. The children are going to be reciting Kaddish. Danny has the. David, you want to stand up? Stand. Here, it's all right. Okay, good. He doesn't have to. He doesn't have to.
Oh, okay.
He's fine. He's fine.
Okay.
Okay. Okay. Go.
Iskadash Merava, the Alma du Ativ Leit Data Ula Ya'a Neteya Ule Shach Lech Haychlei Ul Nifparak Chaya Lim Bnei Karta di Yerushalayim Me'ekar Pul Chana Nuch Racha Me'arda La'atava Pul Chalna Kadish Chasha Dishmiya La'at Ra Lezireya Le'yikarei Ushichin Te Yitzmach Pur Kana Yikarev Mishichai L'chayichon u'v'yomichon l'chayei d'chol Beit Yisrael Titkelei charba v'kafna u'muna'a u'michal ima ama Beit Yisrael Ha'ela u'bizman kariv v'imru Amen Yehei shmei Rabba v'loach la'olom lomei lomaya Yehei shmei daba mibarach le'alam le'alma al miya yitbarach yishtabach v'yitba'ar v'yitchoman v'yitnasei v'yitadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal shmei l'kudisha barichu Le'ela min kol v'chasa v'shirata tush b'chasa v'nechemasa la'amiram v'alma v'imru Amen Yehei Shlomo Rabba min Shemaya L'chaim tovim aleinu L'al kol Yisrael V'imru Amen Oseh Shalom bimromav Hu yaseh Shalom aleinu L'al kol Yisrael V'imru Amen
Okay. At this point of the funeral service, first we're going to announce the Shiva is taking place at the home of Terry and Penny 13400 Coach Lamp Lane. The mincha is going to take place at 6:15 this afternoon. The times were sent out on emails. You can look out for what the exact times of Shiva are. At the conclusion of the funeral, the focus now switches to the mourners. So we're going to form two lines, and the mourners are going to walk in between, and we're going to begin the process of healing, of mourning, by reciting Hamakom Yenachem. I'll say it together. I'll say it word for word slowly for those that are not familiar with the wording. And then you'll wash your hands before you go into your next place, home, work, or anywhere else. You wash your hands. I believe there's a washing station there as well, so you could wash before you go into the car. Okay, so if we can make the two lines, everybody should stand on two sides with a aisle in the middle that they can walk down in between. So if you guys can come here, David, for this you'll come. David, come. Wait, so no, wait here with me. Wait here, hold on, wait here with me.
Okay.
They're gonna create two lines, perfect.
My condolences and my
You should have given us a photocopy first.
Yes.
It's the
It's
first
all-
time I've ever.
Yeah, it's not. It's a
read it,
mouthful.
yeah.
Okay, wait. People are dictating the lines. They're different. Okay, guys, come here. No, wait here. No, I'm calling you to stand here. Don't walk them. Just wait here first. We're missing Penny. Where's Penny?
Yeah, sorry.
Penny, come. Okay, but Terry, you can walk with them if you'd like. So you'll walk down the path and then you'll turn to the right. Okay. Guys, start walking slowly, and everybody recite after me. Hamakom, Yenachem, Etchem, B'toch, Shar, Avele, Sion, Yerushalayim. Let's say it one more time as they walk down. Hamakom, Yenachem, Etchem, B'toch, Shar, Avele, Sion, Yerushalayim. May God comfort them amongst the mourners of Zion and Jerusalem. May we share in each other's joyous occasions, but may we be there for those that are such a nature. People gain tremendously from each other's friendship and caring. In memory of labor, extend yourself to another person, show an extra degree of caring. And to everybody, Gmar Chatima Tova, may everybody be inscribed for a book in the book of life, and sealed in the book of life, a life of good health and happiness.
Thank you so much.
Il molei rachamim shoichein meroimi Hamtzei menucha nechoin al kanfei hashchina b'maloi saktoishim utohirim kizoyar arakiya mazirin es nishmas Yehudalei ben Yerucham Fishul Shalach Loi Lamoy Bavur Shenad Vutstaka Badaskaras Nishmasoi Began Eden Tehei Menuchasoi Lochein Balarachmim Yastireu B'Seiser Knafav Loi Lamim V'Yitzer B'Tzor Achayim Es Nishmasoi Adonai Unachalasoi V'yanuach al mishkavoi v'shalayim v'noimar amen.